Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Let's start the show. Yeah, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 120. Yeah!
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, 120. Can you believe it?
I can.
Haha, you better believe it, baby. Because when the lights go out. Did you listen to that song growing up?
I feel it sounded really familiar, so
it's like legit one of those boy band songs that like I think came like at the very, very beginning of the boy band age in my era of boy bands. So it like came out, it was like I think a one-hit wonder boy band. I think they're not.
Yeah, I was
even
about to say, like, who is Five?
Well, first of all, they were like Jackson 5. Let's just take off the Jackson and call ourselves Five. And I don't know who they are, actually. They're just 5 white boys that they put together from probably not even here in America. So that's a good one. It's When the Lights Go Out. The lights went out for 5, I believe. So
after that song.
Yes. Got to save electricity. But yo, V, how are you doing? How is everything going?
You know, I'm back. I went back to the Chicagoland area for the 4th to see my family for the first time since Christmas.
Nice.
Which was awesome. The only one of them that I didn't see was my brother Frank, because he's back in Seattle already. Though he can't even like do his job at his lab right now because he lives in Greektown. He like is in a fraternity and stuff at University of Washington in Seattle, and like they've had a huge breakout of coronavirus, so they've pretty much just been like, all of you guys have to stay home. And actually, like, I think the labs or like the different like medical stuff is going to use like them as guinea pigs for different stuff, like just to like with the data.
I hope they get double time, double pay.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, well, it was a pretty eventful week for me. A lot of changes, like we teased last week. For your boy, it all started off with. With the bleached hair. And what do you think?
I think it went, like, for that being one round, it looks pretty good. I thought it'd look a little oranger for it being one round. I think you need to actually go to, like, maybe even my hairstylist, get it done for her to, like, tone it and then make it, like, silver. Because I think if you had the silvery look, it would look even cooler.
The silvery look is coming next, buddy. But I wanted to try out the blonde. I like it, though. Like, it's so weird, like, how it changes, like naturally, like if I had my hair like black or brown, whatever color it is, I don't like it like when it's natural like this. But like honestly, like even just having like my hair blonde, like I feel like it's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the style. There's no real like style to it, but like it feels fine. That's the weird thing. Another thing, within 24 hours, and shout out to Lexa for doing that actually.
Yeah.
She's the shit. That was a fun night, bleaching the hair. And then the next day, I went and got this bad boy. It's a half-sleeve tattoo on my right arm.
Yeah, explain it to our listeners.
Well, if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see. But for the listeners, it's actually just like a half sleeve of it's like a wing design, like of a bird that goes into like a rose for future bachelor and stuff like that. Pretty much, it's just like I'm flying beautiful. That's what it means. But and also just like I just like the look of it. It looks fucking cool. So
okay, can you explain to me why you captioned your photo debuting these 2 new changes, Peter Parker?
Oh, just because of the position I had to get in.
I was about to say, like, it literally makes no sense.
Well, I didn't want it to be, like, too much about, like, all that other shit, because, honestly...
It makes no sense that it's Peter Parker.
Well, I had to get down into position of, like, Spider-Man
and
to show...
And you have a phone to your ear?
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, like, that's like, an epic thing, because, like, oh, shit, like, he's not using his own phone to take this picture, you know what I'm saying? So...
Oh, my God.
What? No, dude, that's, like, that's way cooler, dude. You have to admit.
Oh, my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, send me that shit. Yo, all right, you take it out of your phone know, but you texted to me. But yeah, no.
Oh shit, he's so cool. He has a friend to take his picture.
All right,
on a
well, now
different
because I have a
phone.
podcast and I talk about the things in my life, I'm like forever not cool. Okay, that's for one thing. But like now that I have to explain my Instagram post to you, like, yeah, it's not cool.
Because I literally saw the caption. I'm like, I don't get it.
There's
Like,
nothing
I'm
to
like,
get.
is it
It
just
was-
because he's crouched down. I'm like, Peter Parker
And
wouldn't
also,
be-
like, the web was
Oh,
in the back, like, you know what I'm saying? It looked like I just fucking came down. But I just didn't want it to be like changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, change. I thought
you
about
could-
it, but then I was like,
could've
fuck
been,
this. Like,
could have made fun of. See, it would have been funnier if you made fun of how always basic bitches are like, I did a thing. That would have been funny.
no. I swore to myself I would never, ever write publicly I did a thing. Ever.
See,
ever.
that's satire. That's
No, because
comedy.
that's one of those
That's
things that
funny.
you only get one. And no, that would have been so dumb, dude. That's why I just went with something random, like Peter Parker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it has nothing
But
to do with
it
it.
didn't make any sense.
I'm
I'm a
care.
wordsmith. You know that.
The whole
Words
thing.
are my.
Listen,
I'm a caption queen. I love a good caption.
I
It
want-
just didn't make any sense.
I want people to know that the whole thing doesn't make any sense. I'm dyeing my hair because it doesn't make any sense. I'm
It's
getting
the
this
cry
sleeve
for
on my
help.
arm because it doesn't make any sense. Like, that's the whole point of this last 24 hours that my mom's like, I'm like, listen, it's gonna keep changing. Like, don't get used to
is like-
this. This is gonna
This
change.
is like you're a little bit over quarter life crisis because like you're a little bit past quarter life.
Is this a
but,
quarter?
like, so
Would you
it's
consider this a quarter life crisis?
It's a delayed quarter life crisis.
Delayed crisis. Jeez.
And then
why?
because you're
Why?
too
Because I
early
want
for
to
a
change.
midlife
Because I want to
crisis.
switch it up.
No, I'm just saying the way that you were explaining it, it makes it seem that way. My dad is in his midlife crisis. He's about to buy a Mustang, which like I'm all here for because I want to drive the Mustang. But no, it's funny. I think it honestly turned out way better. Both items turned out way better than could have been expected. And
You're
I think
so
it looked
sweet. You know what I'm saying? I honestly didn't know what you were gonna say, because it's so different. But
it is different.
thanks for the love. It means a lot to me. I'm blushing. I can't help it. But oh man, let's get out of this all mushy gushy thing. Get maybe on a flight though. I don't know. Quick hits.
I don't know. Okay, so
I mean,
I wanted to.
anything like happen, over this
In the world.
4th of July weekend that honestly, speaking of 4th of July, it was a weird one because honestly, I was like, fuck this holiday. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, brother.
Juneteenth is the new one. That's what we're going to be celebrating from now on. So I'll take a day, and if you're barbecuing, I'll eat some food. But I'm not here to say happy 4th of
That's
July
pretty
to
much
nobody.
What I did.
It was
I
just,
wore a red bathing suit. That was also, I hate patriotic stuff. Like everybody who knows that about me. So the most patriotic I got was wearing a red bathing suit. It was just an excuse to wear a new red bathing suit. So.
interesting. Well, yeah. Well, what happened in the world? What's going on? What quick hits do we got?
All right, so I wanted to do a quick follow-up from last week. We talked about Dave Portnoy and his emergency press conference. He did a follow-up to that, which I liked even better than the original video, because he did a follow-up and said how, he realized that the comments that he made in his original one, put a lot of work and things on the people of color that do work for Barstool, because then they had to defend, why they work there and why they do that, which is not what he was trying to do. And he came out saying
That's fair enough, dude. I respect someone to come back and look at it through a different lens and admit, I didn't really look at it this way. And once you put people in a position, and even people that care about you, they want to have your back, but they're like, listen, Dave, kind of pushed me to the limit here. I can't defend this, So what else? What did Dave have to say?
And so he pretty much was like, it really helped me realize that what I was trying to be funny or whatever was adversely affecting some of my employees, and I'm really all about making sure they're all at the table. And he's like, I'm trying to do even more listening now, and listening to what they're saying, and having them push out different things for us, for the company and whatever. So I mean, I think that's a step in the right direction for Barstool.
I mean last week I was saying how I kind of agreed with a lot of stuff, but at the same time, when you have a company like that, you have to think about the people, and the perception of your company. And, that is the right thing to do, is to listen more and to get more, diverse voices throughout your company, whether that be, making decisions on anything, like, whether it be posts or whatever. Are we doing enough, that type of stuff? So it's cool to see him, trying.
Yeah, working through it.
Definitely.
Next up, so I pride myself on never going to Walmarts because Walmarts are just not a part of my journey. And if that makes me snooty and snobby, I take that on. I know that about myself. Yeah. But Walmart is they're partnering with Tribeca Enterprises to do pop-up drive-in movie theaters in their giant-ass parking lots later this summer, so that, people can get their own, theater experience, because it's a little hard to go to a real movie theater right now, and drive-ins are like kind of like the perfect thing to do, because you could just sit in your car with your fam or whoever, maybe a date if, you're lucky to have someone to love during this time.
Or, yeah, lucky that someone loves you enough to bring you to the Walmart parking lot for a date. But, yeah. But
it's a cute idea. I don't love Walmart, but I think
take them
it's
to
cute.
a real drive-in. God damn. But, yeah, good for everybody else that wants to go there. I mean, it's a good idea. There's not
a ton of real drive-ins left,
I mean, it's a big parking lot, so it's like when you're thinking about things like that. But for sure, because that's what's one thing that actually it's kind of annoying right now, is the fact that like movies and TV shows can't be made. So like we're getting like a couple things here and there. Like I'm looking forward to this new Palm Springs movie or show that's coming out on Hulu. So Andy Samberg and shit. It looks like it has to do with like time travel or something, like a loop or something. But we got
some
Future Bachelor. But yeah, that's one of the things, is that like I feel like I'm now going back and watching a lot more older movies because there's not a lot of new things to watch right now. So new movies. Usually I'll have like one new movie to watch or something every week, like, that came out in theaters, but there's not much of that going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I'm finally catching up on stuff that I've wanted to watch, because I notoriously just don't watch a lot of like TV or movies that much unless like I'm going to the movies, because I actually like that experience, which we've discussed a lot here. Mm-hmm. But I've just been trying to catch up with stuff. I mean, I watched the Hamill film this weekend, Hamilton, on Disney Plus, and cried, and it was great.
I watched Unsolved Mysteries, the new series. They brought it back for Netflix. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have Robert Stack, the original host, but the music is still scary as shit. It's like one of those shows that you can't just like fall asleep to, because if I wake up in the middle of the night,
you need like a palate cleanser after you watch it. You're like,
no, I just can't like at any point let the music at the end of the show come on while I've been sleeping, or I wake up to it like it's just like it still brings back like memories of when I was like homeschooled, and like we'd watch it during the day, and like I'd be like, Mom, where Mom? It was just scary, like, and it'd be like daytime. I'm scared. But
when were you were homeschooled? I did not know that.
Yeah, I was. I was homeschooled from 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
Interesting.
Yeah, what are you looking at me like that for?
It's funny, because like I had to do a persuasive speech like when I was probably like in 6th grade about how I thought that homeschooling was like not good.
Oh yeah? Well, like now everyone's doing it, so
I know,
so much
they
for
have
what you know. So much for what you know. But yeah, what else we got?
All right, so over this weekend, Kanye West tweeted that he will be running for president in 2020. Like he had tweeted or whatever, announced years ago. He's still doing it. He's saying that he's under the birthday party. And he's currently being backed by his lovely wife, Kim, and Elon Musk. So the brain trust there is something. And he said that he no longer supports Donald Trump, and he's taking off the red hat. And when asked about how he's probably siphoning black votes from a Democratic nominee, i.e. Joe Biden, he said, like, thus helping Trump, because not a lot of black people vote for Trump. He's like, I'm not denying it. He's like, the black vote is, to say that the black vote is democratic is a form of racism and white supremacy. Okay. And he also said that he had COVID in February. Also, he's never voted in his life. And he believes that vaccines are the mark of the beast, and Planned Parenthoods have been placed inside cities by white supremacists to do devil's work.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it's so crazy to think that this guy, like, legit with one album, like, changed the course of my life, and now we're here with this. Like, this world that we're living in right now, I can't with it. Like, I can't. Like, you want to know why I'm bleaching my hair and getting a tattoo sleeve within 24 hours? This is it, people. This is the world we live in. Why not?
Snap.
Why not? Because, you know,
Snap.
these are 2 steps away from me being president of the fucking free world.
No, please don't. No.
What's wrong with these people? Kanye, you know, you just got the you know, Gap deal, which is awesome. You know, doing a bunch of cool things, and then do this. Yeah, I do think it would be freaking cool if Kanye could be president. I do, but I don't think
he's
it's
not. He can't be. But he can't be.
I think it would be cool if Kanye was president. I think it would be friggin' awesome if Kim Kardashian was the first lady. That's just because, like, that's what we get. We get that for all this mess that you guys try to do to us. This is the country that they created. This is the country that we created. This is what we deserve. If Trump can do it, then yes, Kanye should get in there.
Do something about it, Sai. We should not. Nobody should be voting.
How are we gonna get out there and vote? You want us to just pretend that COVID stopped for a day so we can go stand in lines and gymnasiums with each other and stuff? Everyone's gonna do the absentee ballot. Everyone can do the absentee ballot now.
Yeah, that's like a bigger issue. There's like whole like policies and campaigns and things for people to be like, it should just be sent to all of us. Oregon sends all of their ballots to people every single time, but that's a whole thing. I don't need to get into state by state like voting laws and regulations.
You know, it'd be cool if Kanye was president. Who would you rather, Donald Trump or Kanye?
Those aren't the only choices. I'd rather Joe Biden than either of those two. And that's saying a lot.
That was not the answer. I said Trump or Kanye.
I don't want either of those hoes.
Yeah, well, I didn't want Trump or Hillary either.
But like, I don't love Joe Biden, but he's the best option.
So how about we like make like a little president's club, like, you know what I'm saying, where we have a couple presidents, you know, representing a bunch of different types of people.
Only if one of them is like a woman for once.
For sure. We need a white woman. We need a black woman. We need some Asian people. We need some, you know, Spanish people. Everyone votes together.
Like an oligarchy.
Like, why do we have a UN, but like it doesn't make any sense to have like some type of like group of people running like this country? I don't know.
Well, the UN doesn't like run.
Because we believe in kings and queens and stuff. So,
okay. It's not even accurate, but okay.
I mean, one person that rules the whole world like that, or that feels like a king to me. I don't know.
But there's like other, like there's the different branches of the government. There's like the House and the Senate.
Oh, trust me, I get all like the branches and stuff like that. But that doesn't stop like a bunch of things from still happening. You know, like it doesn't stop Kanye from like trying to like run for president. You know,
that's why people need to not vote for him, because it's not like, this is not what could happen. Also, like, just from what I read, he like he doesn't give a shit about women's bodies, so like I'm not here for it, but that's just me.
All right. What else we got?
All right, so there's been some beef, tea, everything, all kinds of food items between Young Thug, Pusha T, and others. So Pop Smoke's album "Shoot for the Stars" came out. "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon" came out.
It's pretty good.
There's an unreleased song, and it was referred to. It's called "Paranoia," and it's been released and it's come out. And there was and on it, so that has Gunna, Young Thug, and Pusha T, the verses on it. In Pusha T's verse, he says, you know, reality bites its chest, not checkers. Those empty threats only sound good on your records. If the Patois is not found by a blacka. It's like marked for death, screwface, without the choppa. Let him rush the stage when you made like Sinatra, only to hide the blade flying back through LaGuardia. I might even buy a home out in Mississauga. I totally butchered that last word.
You butchered a lot of it. What does it mean?
But it's supposed to be referencing the onstage fight that broke out at Pusha T's November 2018 show in Drake's hometown of Toronto. And during that show, Pusha T suggests that Drake paid people to throw beer at him. So
I believe it.
Then it was a whole thing, and Young Thug posted about that verse being all like, yo, don't involve me in this beef. Like, I'm not here for that. Gunna's not here for that. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Let Gunna speak for himself. Pusha T, yeah, I think he was just like, dude, I don't care if you're mad. I don't need your approval about nothing. I asked you to get on the song, so yeah. I mean, he's like, take me off the song if y'all like, out of respect for Pop Smoke, but like, I don't give a shit about any of your guys' respect about anything. Like, if I want to get on a song and spit about Drake and I'm the last person to like put it out there, I'm going to do it, and I don't need to ask you for permission. Yes, Young Thug probably doesn't want to be associated because he's friends with Drake, and he doesn't want to be associated with that beef. But, that's hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? Beef is beef.
Yeah. Beef is
Drake,
beef.
it sounds like Drake is doing some type of other type of beef. This is hip-hop. Like, get on a record, talk about Pusha T, and then you guys can go back and forth like that. Don't be paying people to throw beer at his shows just because it's in Canada. But, Drake has a lot of power to do things like that. So I'm still riding with Pusha T on this.
Right.
Yeah, what was it? So some talk. We got some
talk.
Yeah, some talk.
Well, I thought I would have to say this because later when we'll get to our slapper, it's like sort of related.
Mm-hmm.
But so Charlie D'Amelio, she and Little Huddy were known for their relationship. They're part of the Hype House. She left the Hype House. Her and Dixie left the Hype House.
The Hype House, for listeners, is like this like house in LA where like essentially this older guy, like older TikToker guy, is like running a house full of young TikTokers where they just make content all day and they're forced to like make content, pretend to be friends. They probably hate each other and they're swapped out like nothing. So yeah, and Charli D'Amelio is one of the biggest TikTokers. She is the biggest TikToker of all time. And, she even scored like a Super Bowl commercial this past year and stuff too. But, yeah, so she's dating this douchebag Little Huddy who like is one of those like emo kids that do TikTok.
One of those e-boys, yeah.
E-boys. Essentially, do you think I'm an e-boy now? You think I'm turning? Okay, thank you. Yeah, Little
You're
Huddy.
trying though.
I'm trying so hard to hold on to this e-boy.
With that fucking Peter Parker caption.
All right. So what's going on? Little Huddy cheating with some other little hottie?
Okay, so first of all, let's remember, this is like high school drama, but on the bigger stage of social media because Charli D'Amelio is 16, like just turned 16, and Lil Huddy is 18. And
he just turned 18.
Yes. And so, there was rumors that they were getting back together and then he like was like, blah, blah, blah. And then,
he's the worst, dude.
He went and posted this whole thing. 'Cause like Charlie said something online about how he cheated on her. And like a lot of other TikTokers said that. And so then he like went and posted this whole list of like all the other like main TikTok douchebag dudes who were like, once again, like 16, 17, who like cheated on their girlfriends with other TikTok girls. And then it was like, Charlie was like, stop deflecting, blah, blah, blah. Like just like fess up and like just be a man about it and whatever. But it's like crazy that this is like what the world is now. Like this is like I
Charlie
was going
just needs
through...
to hold out for like when she's like just gets older and just not mess with these like dumb kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the worst.
She's 16. That's the thing. It's like
she's gonna be like all right, like legit when she's like becomes an adult and stuff. She's gonna be like one of the most popular like probably like socialites and stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like the new age of like Kardashian shit. Like her and her sister are like a new version of Kardashians.
I mean, yeah. And like Addison Rae, who's one of the other big TikTok girls, she's been hanging out with like the Kardashians. She's been hanging out with like Kourtney and stuff.
Oh, nice. Well, that's some for talk. We'll get back to some more talk later. What else we got?
So Mark from Love Is Blind, we brought up his drama either last week or the week prior with how he got caught kind of like in a cheating situation where he was going to Cleveland to be like with this one girl, and he was at that time still dating LC, one of the other girls from the show. And now he's like Instagram official with what it looks like to be the girl from that Cleveland trip. So I don't really know the logistics on that because I'm pretty sure he still lives and works here. But also it just so happened that he announced him being Instagram official the same day that Jessica announced her being Instagram official with her hot doctor boyfriend. And I kind of think she's winning in this situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's just me. But
whenever
also,
you got a hot doctor, you're winning. You know
yeah, he got a hot doctor, and he like tagged the girl, like in his post, he tagged like his new girlfriend or whatever with the tag nope. So I'm like, bruh, if people already found out that you got, like that you were pseudo cheating on somebody. I'm sure somebody already can find out this girl's name. Like, don't you worry. Like, we'll find it out.
Yo, well, what's going on with these NBA meals and stuff?
Okay, so the NBA is like performing, like they're being in the bubble. So what that means is like they're all at Disney's like World of Sports resort. They're staying there. They're playing together. They're like broadcasting so that there could still be sports, whatever. Not contract COVID. But like they've been posting like what they've been being fed, and it's very Fyre Festy. It's like very random, like kind of slightly elevated airplane food. It's just like,
are you talking about the employees that are running the things behind scenes? Not like the NBA players themselves.
No, I'm talking about the players.
The players are getting Fyre Fest meals?
Yeah, they're getting like a roll, random fruit, like Stacy's pita, just random like things. Stacy's pita chips, like random items, like a sort of a salad. It's like all like super weird. Like what else? Just random, like a sort of maybe a salad, some random buttered noodles. Like it's all just packaged and looks ridiculous. And people are all like, "There's no way Braun's eating this," but it's like,
there's no way Braun's eating.
But these are like other players, like Troy Daniels. Other players are like showing the stuff that they're eating, and people are like, "Okay, wait a second." Like,
so has anyone responded, like Braun or anybody?
I know I haven't seen that yet, but people are saying like, so people said that the food should be changing after the quarantine is like after the initial process of like when they get there and they like first get quarantined and like they were trying to like, you know, remove all of the outside. So
they can't leave? Drinks. They can't bring girls in? Like what the...
I think not for a while. I don't really think yet. I don't know. So I don't really know how the NBA
I wonder if they'll have like
testing
for all like the gold diggers and stuff that come through there.
Yeah, that are just like, hey, like in the lobby of like
the Hovids.
World of Sports or like this is like literally at one of the Disney resorts, like one of the shittier Disney resorts too. Mm-hmm. And so it's hilarious to me. But like these are, you know, multi-million-dollar athletes.
Well, Bad Bunny has taken my historic spot by being the
Your historic spot.
I'll be the first solo man on the cover of Playboy. Explain what's going on here.
So, like, I mean, Bad Bunny, I love Bad Bunny, San Benito. He is known for kind of like his gender bending, and just like his very sexual fluidity in how he performs and what he talks about and even how he presents himself. So he got this, and also it's their first ever digital cover. I mean, magazines are really in a weird place right now, as you can't really have a lot of people like producing them, but he has like this cover and he's like got all these like nails and like these stickers on. I just love Bad Bunny. Okay. Like he definitely has like changed the game for like what, especially like machismo is like such a thing in Latino cultures about like being like a big macho man, and like he is like shown how you could be like super masculine and sexy, and because his girlfriend is hot as fuck, dude, and like he can be like that way but also like be like prancing around in full drag or doing all this stuff. So it was like Playboy, first of all, Playboy is like such a dope magazine now. It's just like very much more, it's always been progressive, but it's even more progressive now. And it's super cool to see him.
That's what's up. I like the name Bad Bunny. That's really good. That's cool.
Have you listened to Bad Bunny's music?
I mean, of course. I've heard like Bad Bunny, J Balvin, all them, like, you know, doing the reggaeton. But not like huge into reggaeton, I'm not gonna lie.
I love reggaeton.
Yeah, I just don't like have like a point in my life right now where I'm like, bust out the reggaeton. Like when I was a DJ.
I also feel like as a dancer, I like reggaeton because like it's something I like to dance to.
Yeah, I don't really have like opportunities to dance too much these days, but that's what's up. I also feel like, you know, that's kind of like when we were talking about Little Huddy and stuff like that. Those are not like, you know, like jack dudes. Like these kids are wearing like earrings and necklaces and like all types of fashion and stuff like that. And those are like the popular kids these days, like, you know, like are the ones that are like doing that type of shit. So, you know, I don't give a fuck. I'll paint my nails, I'll dye my hair, but I don't know if I'll go full drag and still be like mad masculine. I don't know if I could pull it off, but good for Bad Bunny. Well, yo, what made you go yikes this week, V?
Oh yeah. All right. So, as we've seen during this Black Lives Movement that's been happening, there's been a lot of cities who have been permitting, sanctioning painting of streets that say Black Lives Matter. There's one here in Atlanta. There's one in DC.
Hurt myself the night that they painted it. Still kind of like my knee is kind of a little jacked up, but like
there's the one on the Beltline, and there's actually one on Edgewood as well.
Oh yeah. So what? Now people like are trying to paint over them.
Yes, so there is two.
So these things are sanctioned by the city or like allowed?
Like they have actual permits to do them. A lot of times, like the one in DC, like the DC mayor was the one who was like, okay, let's do it. And also, like, let's be honest, like we don't need to give people cookies for like painting Black Lives Matters on a street because like that doesn't do like a ton, but it is a powerful symbol. But
yeah, usually it's like a really bright yellow on a black street, huge, done, like really well, like, you know, like spaced and stuff. Like that's always, as a graphic designer, I'm like, okay, so they had to have like stretched this out, like some type of like stencil or measured it out so it looked good and stuff. But yeah, I saw the video. I saw the video of the people like taking the black paint and like painting right over it, and I'm like, I would have just ran up and snatched both the paint and the broom and just took off.
I know. And people were trying to do that. And like they were, you know, saying how like, not in my town. We're not having this in my town. And like they're two Trump supporters. They were in their Trump stuff. And they've actually been the happy part of this yikes is they have been charged for vandalism and things like that because it was sanctioned by the city to have it painted there. But it was crazy to hear them like discuss how like
all lives matter and how they were
and just like how that is like the words have Black Lives Matter like felt so violent to them and felt like such a like threat, which like just like really speaks to like how these people have to be white supremacists because
if something like someone saying that Black Lives Matter bothers you, like you have to really question like what matters to you. Like just who, of course Black Lives Matter, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it has nothing to do with like, you didn't come up with all lives matter first. Black people came up with Black Lives Matter first, and you guys wanted to come and like be like all lives matter. It's like, no, was not the point. Like what's it called? Who's the dude that does Weekend Update with
Michael Shea?
Michael Shea, it just slipped my mind right now. Michael Shea, he has his joke where he's like, you know, gay people are fighting for just like equal rights. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're fighting for, you know, like civil rights. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you just be civil? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why he was like, you know, talking about like, you know, for 9/11, he was going to make a t-shirt that said like all buildings matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's essentially what you're saying is like, is it's like, okay, so we're saying that like on this day 9/11 matters, but that's like saying like all buildings matter on 9/11. It's like, we know all buildings.
Or if like if somebody's birthday, it's being like, well, all birthdays matter.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Or like the analogy of people being like, honey, do you love me? And it's like, I love everyone. Like your wife coming up to you being like,
Yeah.
honey, do you love me? And he's like, you know what? I love everyone. Your wife is not going to be happy with you saying that you love everyone. You know, I get it. You love her, you love him, you love her, but your wife is not going to be happy with that answer. And I don't think we should with Black Lives Matter either, you know?
No, and also like all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter, because like the thing is like Black Lives Matter means that, you know, we have to actually take charge of like the discrepancies in how people are being treated, and we can't just.
I mean, those are the same people that will believe in reverse racism. Like, I watched a really good video today about reverse racism, and actually 2 videos. One of them was our friend, I think it was John V, who posted it, but it was like a comedian, like an Indian comedian, and he was talking about like, you know, don't, like, he's always up there like white people this, white people that, and then they're like, you know, isn't that like reverse racism? I mean, it just goes on to this like spiel about how like, you know what, the only way that like I could be reverse racism is if I had a time machine and I go back in time. And he just pretty much says like, we do exactly what we do to like every other race, like what we do to white people, and then be up on stage here and like say like white people can't
exactly.
dance.
You can't.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as reverse racism. White people are the oppressors. We cannot say like the people who we've oppressed can't oppress us back. Like that's just not how that works.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like it's kind of a weird thing because I don't know what our listeners are thinking right now. Like, you know, like this pretty political and stuff like that. But that's definitely the way, like, I believe, like, you know, this has
I don't
to
even
be...
think it's political. These are like human issues. Like, I don't even think it's political.
But people will always pull this type of stuff into being political. Like, you're right. It has nothing to do with it. These are human issues. But, you know, what are we supposed to do? It's an election year. Well, yikes. Yeah, fuck those people. You know, so why don't we get into our main topic?
That like went into being more hot pockety.
Yeah. Main topic. It's a combination of like, you know, Elton John and Hot Pocket. So
that's
yeah.
So on brand.
There's no respect on this show at all. Well, I think, you know, why don't we get into our mini main topic of the week? Why don't we talk about, have you ever had someone like claim you were flirting with them? Like maybe through a third party, like they're like, this person said you were flirting with them, and they're like, no, definitely was not flirting. So, and it's unfair. It's unfair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even my type. Like, I'm not just out here. Yes, I like to flirt with a lot of girls, but I'm not just flirting with everything. Like, geez.
Oh, God.
Anyways, have you ever been accused of flirting with someone and definitely wasn't flirting?
Okay. I think what usually happens to me is that I'm a conversationalist. I'm pretty outgoing. Mm-hmm. I am friendly and affectionate, I guess, to a lot of people. So, like, I talk to a bunch of people and, you know, whatever. And so there's definitely been times where people have thought I was flirting with them when I was honestly just being friendly and nice. And and when I say people, I mean mostly straight men. And I think that has a lot to just do with like where sometimes straight men like to think that like, oh, well, she has to be into me if she's like whatever. And it's like, no, I don't. But that's nice of you to think so.
Yeah, like, you know, to me, it's more of like I can find someone genuinely super funny, almost at a like point where like, you know, it has maybe it's like the combination of like the way you're joking around, and it could be a possibility of the way you look, and the combination of all that stuff. So if I find myself like laughing a lot at you, like, or
at you, notice how you said at you.
Exactly, at you. Maybe a little bit of with you sometimes, but that does not mean that that's flirting. And it's just like, you know, I mean, as far as laughing goes, like how like laughing at people's jokes, can that be considered flirting?
I mean,
being like, you are super funny. Is that flirting?
It can be. I think it all comes down to, I feel like flirting a lot comes down to.
I think like Kevin Hart's really funny. Not really, actually. I'm just like thinking.
No, I was like,
a
that was an
comedian.
awful example.
I'm just thinking like I'm a comedian. But regardless, if I think Kevin Hart's funny, doesn't mean I'm flirting at him just because I'm laughing at his jokes.
You sometimes think I'm funny. You're not flirting with me.
Yeah, prime example.
There.
So what is it about laughing at people? You're laughing at me. I don't think you want to, like, you're flirting with me. Stop flirting with me. Stop flirting with me. This is, keep it professional, Veronica. This is our job, our place of work. I know you're at home.
Oh my God, you guys caught me.
Stop, Veronica. This is strictly business here.
Oh my God, I just can't help myself.
I know the hair, the tattoo, you want this, but like, listen, stop laughing and flirting at me, flirting with me, okay?
Anyways, but no, okay, I think people are funny. Obviously, you're gonna laugh when people are funny. I don't think that's inherently flirting. I think it all like depends on like the other things. Like if you are going out of your way to make sure you're like there to hear the joke or like there to like react to the joke, or like body language, I think is like the biggest thing with flirting.
Yeah,
so
I think that you alone like is the first like like the touching, like like not like a lot of touching, but like if you're like being all close in people's faces and like like shoulder touching or something like that.
Those are casual. I always do like the casual arm touch.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
What the fuck is
I'm just joking. But yeah, no. I mean, where is it on the other person to be like, if I think a person's flirting with me, have you ever been on like that like talking to a friend and been like, I think that person is flirting with me, or that person liked me, or something like that, and then your friend is like, I don't know, man, I didn't see it, or something like that.
Yeah, but I feel like.
So is that on you, or like, are you like really seeing the signs of the flirt?
I don't know. I feel like that's where it gets so confusing, because it's like the biggest gray area, because it depends on like who you're with. It depends on the situation, because there's a lot of factors, because like maybe the person you're with maybe doesn't want you to think that that person is actually flirting with you, or maybe the person you're with just is a bad judge of like social cues, so like they don't know, or vice versa, or like maybe you're oblivious when someone is totally flirting with you. It's like I don't like, that's like the hardest part, and that's why it's like so annoying, because it's like, why can't we just be like, hey, I like you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say here. It just scares people off apparently, but I like to be like, are we flirting? Like, I like saying that, like, what I'm saying, but for some reason it turns people off. They're like, no, I'm not flirting, like.
I think that's actually could be cute and then flirty in its own right, because it's like, oh my gosh, like you can either like play it off as a joke. Like I feel like I've played that off with like my guy friends before, being all like, oh man, like take me to dinner first, or like whatever. And then it's like, then it can be played off as a joke, or otherwise then if they are really flirting, then the flirting continues. So
I think that's a cool line. Like, are we flirting?
Are we flirting?
You flirted with me? Are we flirting? Because
are we flirting?
I think yes, it has to be. I want to be like really honest about, like, that's the thing. It's like I'm not like hiding things. I'm not like trying to be like subliminal. I'm not trying to play games. I'm trying to be straight up, like, so if someone's accusing me of like flirting with them and I'm like honestly not flirting with them, it's like, I
mean, like, that's my thing with you. Like, you can almost always tell, because you don't really hold back with your flirting. It's so very evident.
Yeah, someone, and like, like I'll admit it if I was flirting with someone. Like, what I'm saying? I have no qualms. Like, I'll flirt with a lot of people, but
yeah, like, you'll be like, yeah, I was totally digging her.
Nothing gets me more mad than being accused of flirting with someone when I had no interest like whatsoever and stuff. So
wow, I know you're like really pissed about it. Like, I don't think I get as pissed about it when people like, I'm just more like, I get pissed because
all right, so on the other sense, it's like, all right, I told you before the show, this person, like, straight up, like, first of all, I didn't like them because, like, in a conversation, this is the first day, like, I, had my hair like this, and, whatever. Like the girl like straight up was like, she called me gay, and I was like, you just go around calling people gay, like, you know what I'm saying? So then fast forward to the next day when my friend tells me that like this girl thought you were like you were flirting with her. I'm like, wait a second, the girl that just called me gay, like which one is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't be flirting with her and you think I'm gay. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's how, I mean, if you thought I was gay, how could I possibly be flirting with you? Like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. And to be honest, like both those things together just pissed me off. So it's like, so you can sit here and like, first of all, call someone something that you have no right to call, like, you know, me. Especially she said it to my face too. I was like, what the hell? And then, so I didn't really know her, but I did think she was funny earlier in the night. So when she said that, I was like, you know, it kind of turned me off of like, you know, she wasn't that funny anymore. But so the next day, you know, when my friend told me that, I was like, hell no, dude. Like, yeah, I thought she was like, she reminded me of like that one cartoon character from like Bob's Burgers that like the daughter like with the dress and she's got the glasses and the hair that does like this or whatever like cartoon that is.
Yeah.
Or, you know the meme I'm talking about? She legit reminded me of that shit. So I thought like anything, and she had like buck teeth, so like everything that came out of, she had the glasses, the haircut,
wow,
the whole thing.
Okay, we don't need to just like shame this poor woman.
I don't know her, like, you know what I'm saying? And dude, yes, you know what I'm saying? She's out here just calling people gay, like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, that's not, I mean,
right.
I don't think anybody should be judging people based on their sexuality in general.
Right.
Like,
and like,
even
you know,
if you were gay, what's the problem with that?
There's no problem with that. But that was just like my thought about her. And so I was like, all right, well, you know, I just that's why I'm pissed off about it. That one thing and a girl being like I was flirting with you, those two things aren't true. So it's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think it's funny, like, to be like honest about like anything that you're doing, like when you're flirting or doing anything like that. Like, I'm completely transparent. Like, you can tell if I'm flirting with you. I'm super nice with people and I like laugh if something's funny, but that doesn't mean like I'm at all like interested in you or whatever. So
well, yeah, I mean, and I feel like if I've ever gotten mad per se at someone thinking that I'm flirting with them, I think it's just because then like they'll be like, oh, well, Veronica, like you were like whatever all over this dude, where like maybe I totally was not, or whatever. And then like I feel like for me, it's usually them been pivoted into being like, oh, like you're like always like around whatever, like these kind, like around a lot of guys or doing whatever. And I'm like, okay, don't be trying to slut shame me because I was laughing at a joke.
On the flip side, like, it's like, don't try to make yourself sound like you're like that much, like you're all that in a bag of chips or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't think of anything better than that. But don't be thinking that. You know what I'm saying? Because
don't be thinking that you're all like, that you're not a combo deal.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I know what I like. I have a quality of girl I like, and you didn't fall into that. And, you know, it's funny that I get more mad at the fact that she was saying I was flirting with her than her calling me gay. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll take gay. I'll take that as a compliment. But like the other part of you being like, I'm flirting with you, it's like, that's not true. Like, I wouldn't want to say that about somebody else if it wasn't true. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be like, this girl was flirting with me, I know she was, and then like heard it. Like, I wouldn't want to do that just for the pure fact of how I feel right now. I wouldn't want that girl to be like, I was not flirting with you, Sai. And you know what I'm saying? That would just be stupid. So that's just kind of how I feel on the flip side of it. But also, like, how do you know when someone's flirting with you? Like, are you allowed to just call it out, or should you be like, I think they were flirting with me, or like, you know, those type of things? Like,
I mean, I feel like I sometimes call it out, or I don't know, like I feel like I haven't been flirted with in person in a long time because like we're during a pandemic. So I feel like most days, like if I'm ever being flirted with, it's via a message, and like that comes down to like emoji usage.
yeah.
But like any kissy face or winky face kind of emojis usually are like, okay, you're flirting with me, or hearts of any sort. But or other things like that. I don't know. Like, I feel like this is something I worry about a lot. I have anxiety about, like, I'm like, well, I thought they were flirting with me, but maybe were they not? And like, am I reading it totally wrong? But I thought we were vibing. So like, it's like hard to tell.
I think that's different than being definite that they were flirting with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? On some like cocky shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were flirting with me. It's like, you know, you could think like someone was flirting with you. Someone might have been, you know what I'm saying? But like, they might change like their tune like the next time or something. Like it just happens, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like one of those people that's pretty direct about my flirting. Like you can ask me like whether or not like you pissed me off like the next day. You know what I'm saying? You could come back. You could come back the next day and be like, "Were you flirting with that person?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I was." But like, you know, what I'm saying like, I don't know. It's weird. I right now I'm finding it hard to like. I mean, flirt in general. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, are we just supposed to just give up like a whole year of our life trying to find a significant other or do anything just because? Like, I don't know. Are people still using the dating apps and shit?
Yeah.
Are people?
Yeah.
Really? And they're meeting up?
Like either they're going on like socially distant dates or like they're doing like FaceTime dates or all that jazz still.
Bullshit. People are meeting up.
I said that, but yeah. But people are still doing like FaceTime dates and stuff. I mean, even one of our former guests, Maggie, like she did a bunch of like FaceTime dates with her now boyfriend, and then now they've been like together. So
I don't know, man. Should we get on these apps? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I've been on the apps. I do like my little whatever around on them. Then I get bored. I'm at the point now where I'm tired of keeping up conversations with people, and whatever. And so like I'm about to like delete them again.
Are there people on there that are like, I am trying to meet up with somebody?
Yeah.
And like, how is that taken?
It depends on like what you want to do. Like some people, like I feel like I've been approached by folks like being like, would you feel comfortable with like meeting up in a park, socially distanced and like hanging out? And I'm like, yeah. Or like, would you be comfortable with like going for a walk or like whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I'd be comfortable with that. Like I don't want to go inside wherever or like anything like that. First, I mean, it's always a red flag if like, especially a dude is always like, first thing they're like, well, come over to my place. And I'm like, that's not going to be my first date, sir. But yeah, so someone like actually Bumble gives
Where are
you
you
the
supposed to
option.
take them though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like your place might be the best place to get to know somebody at this moment. Like,
I know, but like, that's like, I don't feel comfy with like being at somebody's place, like on a first date.
see,
Like,
I don't think about. I mean, as a guy, I guess, but like, I wouldn't like, as a person, like, I don't know, like, I would just be like, okay, like, we go to your house, get some food, watch a movie, talk, or whatever we do. I don't really.
Yeah, I don't know.
that.
It just like seems like very much so like I feel like if a guy invites me to their place for a first date, it like pretty much means that they just like want to fuck me. So like that's where I don't like really like that. Plus,
yeah,
it
but
just
like
doesn't.
I wouldn't like I would invite a girl over to my place, and I wouldn't think that, and I have like you know what I'm saying like.
For a first date, though.
What else we have to do? Like, yeah, most of the time.
Like, go on a walk or
well,
like
I mean, I'll
grab a
have them like
to-go
meet me
drink,
here.
or,
We'll
like,
go
have
on a walk.
picnic.
Yeah, we can meet here, go on a walk. Like, I mean, all the shit is like around here, so it's like come to my place, park, walk. Maybe later on we'll come back here or something like that. If not, then your car's here. Like, I don't know. Like, it has nothing to do with like. That's what I'm saying. Is like I wonder if like if you really. As a guy, I'm telling you that I invite girls over and don't expect to like even like hook up, knowing that they actually probably think that like, you know, the opposite, like you're saying. But just like hear me out here. Like imagine if you didn't assume that about us and we didn't assume that we're gonna hook up with you. Like would be meeting up at the place really still be that bad? Like especially
I just
like,
feel like I feel like it just like for me personally it then becomes like this is your place of comfort and I have to be out of my place of comfort to be in your place of comfort. So I just feel like the dynamic of power there is like not even.
So I mean, let's flip it then. You wouldn't like invite them to your house?
Not on a first date, no.
But that's your power. You switch the
I
dynamic.
still just because I know that's like
That's your
I
comfort
wouldn't
zone.
want to like do that to that dynamic. I wouldn't want to like because then I could be potentially putting them into an uncomfortable situation.
But what if I wasn't in an
if things were
uncomfortable
going
situation?
well, I would invite them back for like a drink or something, but never like for the first date am I like come over to my house. I've had dudes actually once like try to invite themselves over to my apartment for a first date. And I'm like, that is no.
How do they do that?
They literally were like, oh, well, we could like, well, I could get some stuff and I could come over and I could cook. I'm like, no, the first time I meet you is not you rummaging through my kitchen. That is not how that's going to work.
Interesting. Well, how'd you let them know you were flirting with them after denying them the date at your house?
Well, if I had been talking, like, I mean, like, I feel like I know how to, like, flirtily, like, text or message or whatever, like, with compliments or just, like, with what I'm saying and, like, with emojis or, like, whatever. And then, I don't know. And then I'm pretty much upfront being like, yeah, like, I'm interested in hanging out or whatever, but not like that.
Do you think, like, most people are just not used to, like, getting attention? Or do you think a lot of people are used to getting attention?
I think it depends on the person, and I feel like sometimes insecurities could like make people either believe that people are flirting with them when they aren't, because like they're insecure, and so they'll just like grab at any little thing to be like, hey, like, well, they did this, so like blah blah blah, they must be flirting with me. Or it could flip the other way where their insecurities could just make them think that like nobody likes them ever at all, so they never even notice when somebody's flirting with them.
Yeah, well, I asked because it's like one of those things where, like, you know, I'm a type of person that if I see someone maybe new at like a gathering, they might be like quiet in the corner or like, you know, not like in everything like everybody is. I'll go and like, you know, take the time to like, you know, have a conversation with that person and, you know, go out of my way to do that. Now, like, you know, that's the type of person I am. Now, if you're not used to receiving that type of attention or like giving that type of attention, like that might, you know, come off as being like flirty or something like that. But
potentially, yeah.
In general, like it's just something that I do, you know.
I agree.
I don't want people to feel like alone at a part, like, you know, at a social gathering. Yeah. So that's kind of just what I do. So, you know, I think it's just a matter of being like intentional and like communicating what you're actually doing. Like, you know, I don't know if there's like actually how the like old romantic, you know, like rom-com movies of like it just kind of like happening and, you know, all that stuff. I don't know how that happens really anymore. Like, you know, because people are doing it with multiple people now. Like, you know, like you're just flirting with so many people that like it's hard to and I'm accusing myself of it too, where you just don't like, you don't know how to, I don't know, like how to like focus in on just like one person.
I feel like, and it's not even, I don't know if that's like the issue. I feel like you can flirt with different people, but like be intentional with how you do it. That makes it like, I don't know, like evident to them.
I guess I could learn from that.
Like,
I could, you know, I don't have to like, you know, like flirt with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, with. I don't think like,
I don't flirt with everybody, but flirt with everyone I flirt with.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like I don't flirt with if I'm out or whatever, I'm not flirting with like everybody. Like I feel like I purposely, like if I have like my eyes on somebody, then maybe I'll be flirting with them. But otherwise, like I'm out to enjoy like a fun time. So I'll, you know, do what I need to do if it needs to be done or not.
Do the deed if it needs to be done.
Do the deed.
Well, that kind of wraps up, you know, the conversation. Do we have any Bachelor news follow up? How's your, you know, Tipsy Talks been going? Watching, you know, I haven't actually been watching The Bachelor. I'm not gonna lie. Like
well, this one was interesting because I've never watched like the OG Bachelor season or OG Bachelorette season. And I just laughed a lot. It was like the early 2000s, oversized suits, a lot of bad eyebrows, a lot of funny hairstyles. It was just interesting to see. And it was like funny. They had Cassie on and like she was all like, I don't really want to talk about that much about my breakup with Colton. I'm like, bitch, what are you on here for? Like, what do you mean?
Well, that was the drama I saw, was that she was like really mad about the way they portrayed her on that episode this past week. how they just made it about like the relationship. She's like, I talked about school, I talked about my life and how I've changed. It's like, bitch, no one wants to know about any of that stuff. They want to know how you just used Colton for like a year and a half so you could be famous a little bit more.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but then the other drama is the Garrett from Hannah B season. So not, Becca's Garrett, but the Garrett from Hannah B season has outwardly been out here saying how he's a Trump supporter, and he did a whole Q&A, and like he's just been wild in. And so like everyone's kind of like being like there needs to be no more Garretts on The Bachelor, because like
I didn't like Garrett at all, like on
Hannah B season. Me neither.
Yeah, I remember him being like kind of like manipulating and stuff, if I can remember.
Yeah.
He was also like bullying. Who was he bullying? Who was the bad guy?
Well, no, he like would go against, like he would pick fights with Luke P.
Yeah. So yeah, he would. Like even like, I think that was his demise and stuff, but you can tell Garrett's is a terrible name for someone to go on The Bachelor. So, but
yeah, no. So he's just out here saying it's just like interesting. And, the Bachelor Diversity Campaign is like saying all this stuff about being like, hey, like this is why we need to be doing like more, thorough checks or different things, because like these people then have like a platform to like, which like, free speech, they can do whatever they want, show who they support. But like then they're kind of just like promoting things that are potentially hateful to other contestants and other people. So it's just like it's just interesting to see that roll out. Sorry,
yeah, I'm like really excited to see how the diversity is played in the upcoming seasons here.
In Matt James's season.
Well,
okay,
not just Matt
speaking
James,
of,
but the Bachelorette season that's coming.
Yeah, so technically they're supposed to be filming Claire Crowley's season in a couple of days, but like they haven't like really announced how that's all going to work, so I don't really know what that's looking like right now.
Yeah.
I think they're like going to be on some sort of resort or something.
Probably very similar to how you were talking about the NBA bubble. There'll probably be a Bachelor bubble.
Yeah. A Bachelor bubble. Yeah, hopefully they get better food.
Yeah. Not that Fire Fest or the Bachelor Fest,
Yikes.
But okay, well, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? This week's slapper, we honestly, I didn't want to like it. I don't want to just like these things, but for some reason I've been liking all these like TikTokers and influencers making music, and they're actually making really good songs. No,
you're a sucker.
I'm a sucker for popular lovey-dovey music.
You really are.
I am. And some drums, some guitar, some simple but we were talking about Charlie D'Amelio earlier, and she has an older sister, and her name is Dixie. And both, pretty girls, both TikTokers, but Dixie seems more of like the rebel one, like, more of like the one that's not really super caught up in so much of the dancing. I don't think I've seen her dance.
She doesn't really do the dancing that much.
So, what does she do then? Like, she's just popular because of her sister?
She does a lot of like the lip syncing videos and like the different other challenges and stuff like that, and she does stuff with Charlie. All
right. Well, I think, Charlie is the one that made her famous. But regardless, she has this new song called Be Happy, and essentially talking about, like, sometimes I don't want to be happy. Like, sometimes I want to feel the feelings, like, you know what I'm saying? So
I want to feel feelings.
I kind of feel like that lately. I think a big part of, like, how I've been feeling lately and all that is that, like, I've been putting on, like, I've always been like the energetic person, like kind of, you could say, like trying to be center of attention and just like always that type of stuff. And it's just kind of my personality to stand out, but lately, with what's going on in the world and just personally just going through like my own things in my head, I sometimes I'm not happy. Like, I can't like always be the like fun life of the party guy, and and when I don't, a lot of people are like, what's wrong? And like, I think we all go through I think I just don't allow myself to have more opportunities of just like chilling out and not like going hard. And because most of the time people think there's like something like deeper that's like wrong, and it's really sometimes you just want to chill. Like, you don't want to just like go hard, like being like the happiest. You don't want to be like the person, but because of like, the life I've kind of made for myself, like that's just kind of like where I find myself. So I can relate to this song. And
Yeah.
why don't we get into it a little bit? I think I've talked a lot about a TikToker song, but without further ado, our slapper of the week is called "Be Happy" by Dixie D'Amelio. Let's go.
Sometimes I don't wanna be happy. This song slaps. Down, just leave me there, let me be.
Slapper! Slapper of the week, "Be Happy" by Dixie D'Amelio. Sometimes I don't wanna be happy. Ooh, don't hold it against me. That shit's so good.
It was good.
That's a little catchy, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. They're like, what the hell? But anyways, do you have any shout outs this week, V?
I wanted to shout out my cousin AJ and his wife Kirby. They had a new baby recently, Henry. And then I wanted to shout out my friend Morgan, who actually shouted us out the other day. She is at Peace, Love, and Squats. And she's just a really good friend of mine in the fitness sphere.
Word. I wanted to shout out Jordan DeLeva. It's her birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Jordan.
And I've been like really bad about shout outs lately. Like maybe it's because like we don't really hang out with that many people, so it's just like one of those things. But I also wanted to shout out my boy Chad. We got to like catch up the other day, and he's one of my good friends. And he said some really nice stuff to me the other day, just about being like just going for the things that we want in life, like, you know what I'm saying. So I appreciate you, Chad. Love you, bro. So yeah.
Another
Sometimes
week.
I don't want to be.
Yeah,
Do you think it's all right to have? It's all right to not be happy sometimes.
as you're talking to, the anxious queen, yeah. I haven't been happy for most of this, to be honest. For like the past 3 months, I haven't been like outwardly that happy. But
I wanted to make a company called The Satisfactory.
Jesus Christ.
Think about it. It's good, right?
Diamond in the rough. No one's ever
Business
thought
ideas.
that
I said it here
before.
first. Don't try to steal my ideas, guys. The Satisfactory. I'm gonna name this episode that just so you guys can't steal it from me. But yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're kind of going back into more spikes and stuff of COVID around every state, making people wanting to kind of seclude once again. But I think eventually we're gonna have to get back to real life. I don't know when it is, if we're just waiting for a new year, but I've given up on this one. Like there's just maybe we can like salvage the end. Like we'll get like
Hopefully,
Thanksgiving.
if people like behave the right way, we can. But the issue is not a lot of people are behaving the right way.
Well, the thing is, it's like we'll never get people to behave the right way. Like that's just not
if we
something.
had a different government, we probably could.
Maybe, but we talked about it. We got a king up there, so we can't do much about it. But we just have to kind of live our lives and try to make it week by week, be there for each other, enjoy little things like Future Bachelor every Thursday.
Indeed, we're here for you.
Yeah. So do you have any plans? Because I don't. Like all the plans I
don't have any
canceled.
plans because I'm waiting on whatever my test results are from my second COVID test. So can't really make any plans. Can't really confirm any plans
But what,
until
you got the first one was just negative and you're like, I want a positive.
The first one was negative, and that was like 3 weeks ago. And then I was potentially exposed to somebody we both know who got it. So that's why I took another one.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna happen. The wave's gonna crash. Everyone, it's got to run through us until we get a vaccine. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
it shouldn't have to like run through us though and like keep killing people.
No one asked for this. So just try to live. Whatever you got to do, live your life, guys. Well, next week we got episode 121. And that should
That's
be
how
a
numbers
doozy.
work.
That should be a doozy. Hopefully we'll maybe have a guest next week.
We should have some guests coming up.
Yeah.
And finessing.
So, lock in, guys. We're just going to keep, trying to give you what's going on out there. They got the girl that was with Epstein.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably see some fireworks going down. She's going to snitch on a lot of high-level people.
She's going to. You thought that 6ix9ine was a snitch. She's about to blow this whole place up.
Yeah. I wonder if, they'll probably make, a deal with her where she, only snitches on, not so big people and they let her go free. She's going to have to snitch on somebody, but she's not going to snitch on, the big ones, probably. Right?
How could she not?
They'll be like, we'll let you go free. You have to snitch on these people. These people we can sacrifice. We can't sacrifice the president. We can't sacrifice, what is it, Prince Andrew or whatever.
I just think it's just so crazy to me that our president has so much evidence on him from multiple situations of multiple different things and yet he is still our president. But, that's just me. That's just me. But, that's whatever.
Well, Kanye will be coming through here soon, so.
Oh my God.
Gonna have that good life. Best day ever. All right, guys. Enough talking nonsense. We love you. We'll see you next week. This has been Future Bachelor. You like the way I switched on my voice for the brand?
Yeah, I heard
guys,
it. Yeah.
wake up for next week to Future Bachelor. My name is Cy.
I'm Veronica.
Come on, hype it up a little bit more.
I'm Veronica.
There you go. And we love you. We'll see you next week. All right. Deuces.
Bye. Don't vote for Kanye West.
Future Bachelor Podcast.